Hello, everyone. This is David Vitti. This is a letter to representatives. Y'all can use it. You can either find it on my share drive through the file that's in my link tree, or you can find it on the Substack if you're viewing this video from somewhere besides Substack. But this is a demand for accountability regarding the illegal military operations, domestic deployment, and veteran neglect. The blowing up the boats down in Venezuela, the capturing of the Venezuela's oil tanker. The National Guard throughout the United States has already been declared an illegal operation. And domestic or veterans affairs has been losing, they've lost 83,000 employees plus more. And now that the positions are empty for so long, they're going to say, oh, see, we don't need those positions. But hey, we still do. Here's the letter. Dear representatives, I am writing to you with an urgent concern regarding rapid erosion, constitutional law, military ethics, and basic human rights. Under the current administration, we are witnessing a systematic dismantling of the rule of law, from the illegal deployment of National Guard on America's soil to the unauthorized extrajudicial killing on the high seas. It is time for you to align your votes with your oath of office and hold President Trump accountable, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Speaker Michael Johnson accountable for all these actions. The illegal maritime operations in violation of international law. The administration recent campaign of kinetic strike against alleged drug vessels in the Caribbean and Pacific violates both Uniform Code of Military Justice and the International Human Rights. No proof of imminent threat. The administration justifies sinking these vessels by claiming they are bound for U.S. However, the logistics do not support the claim, as experts' analysis suggests standard Go Fast vessel would require between 1,000 and 2,200 gallons of gas fuel to reach the U.S. shores from South America. Carrying this weight would drastically reduce speed and sink the vessel. Alternatively, it would require refueling 11 to 22 times at sea, a logistics impossibility for covert drug runners. These boats are likely local traffic or short-range carrier, not an imminent threat to the U.S. homeland. War crimes are allegations. Reports indicate that Secretary Hegseth authorized a double tap strike on survivors of the sinking under the Geneva Convention, Article 12, and customary international laws target shipwreck survivors. Forced combat is a war crime. Furthermore, outside a declared armed conflict, these actions constitute extrajudicial murder under the International Covenant of Civil and Political Unrest, ICCPR. Piracy claims the seizure of crude oil tanker skipper off the coast of Venezuela on December 10, 2025, set a dangerous precedent. State sanctions piracy, escalating tensions without congressional authority for use of force. That's CBS, by the way. Illegal domestic deployment of National Guard, the deployment of the National Guard troops into the United States cities such as Los Angeles and D.C. to enforce mass deportation policies without consent of state governors is a direct violation of Posse Comitatus, 18 U.S. Code Section 1385. Judicial rebuke, as noted by Judge Charles Breyer's recent ruling, a president cannot treat the National Guard as a private army or for domestic policy absent a valid invocation of Insurrection Act. Misuses of resources. These deployments strip states of their emergency response capabilities, serve federal political agendas that prioritize the harassment of civilian over public safety. Support for veterans in the purge and deportations. While the administration claims to support our troops' actions through the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, proved otherwise. DOGE fired the firing of 83,000 VA employees, including crisis line workers and combat veterans, is a betrayal of the promise to care for those who have borne the battle. These cuts are not efficiency. They are a dismantling of the support system our veterans rely on. They're basically destroying it so that they privatized. Stop deporting veterans. We demand that the immediate recall of all deported veterans. It is unconscionable that individuals who wore the uniform are exiled from the country they defended. You must support legislating like the Veterans Visa and Protection Act of 2025 to repatriate these service members immediately. Fitness for office. We cannot ignore the mounting evidence of the president's decline and the erratic behavior of the executive branch. Cognitive decline from the unexplained bruises on his hands, on the necessity of cue cards signed being added to the White House to guide basic interactions, coupled with incoherent speeches and recent preventative MRI. The president appears unfit to discharge his duties. Corruption and weaponization. The administration refuses to hold Israel accountable for the genocide in Gaza while simultaneously leaning towards Russia interests, endangering our national security. Furthermore, the weaponization of DOJ to pursue political opponents while burying the Epstein files, hoarding classified documents required immediate impeachment hearing. Actions required. I demand you vote to remove Mike Johnson as Speaker for the complicity in the blocking of oversight. Impeach Pete Hegseth for authorizing war crimes. Restore VA funding and reinstate all fired veterans employees. Enact legislation to recall deported veterans. Codify protection against domestic military use. This letter must be entered into the official record as a testament to the constituents' demand for a return to the rule of law. Signed, John, disabled Navy vet. Yeah, that's pretty clear in itself. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like, share, follow, and if you want, subscribe. But remember, you are loved no matter what you do. Thank you for your time and goodbye.